Distributors is a hallmark tier in the supply chain of the Middle East. So having said that, this gives you a challenge in having data. As we are small volume, they keep on pushing us to different source units. So one day you are in Poland, the other day you are in Russia, the other point you are in France.
Very good point. Interesting part which we introduced, we call it Quickfire. If supply chain has to be defined as a character, a famous character, right, what it would be? If supply chain have a theme song, what that would be? SAP or Oracle? If you have to pick a boss to work with, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Tim Cook of Apple. This video is brought to you by us, SCM Dojo. We provide awesome courses, guides, best practices for supply chain community. Hi folks, welcome to one more episode of Supply Chain Show. This is, I think, one of the recent series that I'm doing with the supply chain leaders in the Middle East. And today I have Doaa Ghamrawi, right? She has been supply chain leaders in various organizations over the last 20 years, right? And today we're going to talk about, basically we're going to learn from her experience because managing in a different kind of supply chain, in a different kind of businesses, and what are the common challenges she has seen, and what are the best practices she has seen, and we basically learn from her experience. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, welcome.
First of all, thank you for your time. I know you're very busy and with the many opportunities, so very happy to have you.
Actually, thank you for inviting me in.
No,
it's my pleasure.
It's our pleasure. So today we're going to talk about the supply chain challenges in Middle East. And given you have worked with many different brands and many different businesses, right? So give us an overview of this.
Great. So let me first give you a quick introduction about me. So I've been in Dubai for the last 20 years, and I will say that I'm privileged because of that. Because in this region, or in this country, you can you get the exposure to regional supply chains, end-to-end supply chains, which gives you experience in managing a different market with different maturity levels, and build and develop skills to manage different challenges. Now, what I noticed being part of an emerging market and interfacing with a lot of suppliers and factories in the whole world, what I noticed that we have a common theme of challenges in the Middle East. Demand volatility, political instability, network design and network risks, regulatory issues and requirements, and name it. There are a lot of common challenges that faces the supply chain of the Middle East.
Regardless of the vertical.
Sorry?
Regardless of the vertical.
Yes, regardless of the vertical. So mentioning that, I've worked with different industries. So FMCG, power supply, and consumer healthcare. They all have the same theme.
We call it Quickfire. Right. So we're going to ask you some quick questions.
Okay.
You don't have time to think. They are not super logical, so don't judge me. If supply chain has to be defined as a character, a famous character, right, what it would be?
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Yes.
So let's tackle one by one. So that you mentioned, let's take the first one, the famous demand volatility, right?
Yes.
So what are the main challenges you see, which is your business or the principal businesses which you work for facing, and also a distributor? Essentially, the product here is distributed through the distributors, right? And they are the one who either has to develop the forecast or share the forecast with you, because otherwise you're basically pushing the inventory in as a principal, right? So start from there.
Okay, great. So as you rightly said, the distributors is a hallmark tier in the supply chain of the Middle East. So having said that, this gives you a challenge in having data. So the data that you have, actually, does it really cover the retailer? Or it's only depending on your supply to the distributor. So I will say here, historical data. You know very well that if you don't cover the retail data and the information, the proper information flow of the downstream, you might get a bullwhip effect. So yes.
That's what this is exactly, for this exact moment I'm wearing this shirt. Right, Bullwig got nothing to do with bulls. Actually, it's got a lot to do with supply chain. Right.
So actually, to keep it in bullet points, I will talk about the data. So I will say the data accuracy, or the data. It is the data accuracy actually, and the data sharing.
Yeah.
So are they share with you? Do they share with you the right data
if they don't,
on time? Or they don't? Because you depend on a third party that is completely outside your organization. That is manages a very big, important input into your supply chain, which is your demand. So this is one thing. Another thing in the demand planning as well, as this part of the world, is the long lead time.
Yes.
So when you have a longer lead time, the demand plan is less accurate.
Of course.
Because you are covering a
longer
horizon, and you lock it, and you are requested to lock it.
And then you buy the inventory which you don't know because of the changes. It might be mostly your wrong.
Exactly. Plus the nature of the region, we are an emerging market, so there is a volatility that is inherited already. How to manage all this is a challenge. The visibility that I just mentioned, the long lead time,
and the variety of SKUs, variety of the
variety
customers,
of SKUs,
their requirement, and
the distributor being part of that.
The Saudi distributor behave differently than Oman, behave differently to Kuwait, behave differently to UAE, behave differently to one in Morocco, and so it's complicated.
Another thing as well here, our percentage of demand versus the rest of the world, when you aggregate to the multinational factories, it's very small.
Very small, with more problems.
With more problems.
With more problems, very small.
Exactly.
Even so, it's a very good point actually, because if you think in European Union, even though they have a lot of countries within Europe, but they behave very similar, right? Especially the whole Western Europe behave similar, Eastern Europe behave similar, right? So they can design a supply chain which fits to that region. It doesn't work like that in the Middle East.
No, it doesn't work like that. Especially that we don't really work or focus on scalability. Okay, so you find that for one SKU there are different packaging. So Saudi distributor has a packaging, Kuwait distributor has a packaging, North Africa has a packaging. While if we scale only from that point of view, it will make it easier for us to manage, and easier for the factories to manage as well.
So that leads to, I think we have an episode planned on S&OP, right?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in detail,
yes.
right? But let's move to the next point you mentioned, which is the network risk,
yes.
right? Because again, taking a European example, when I was working for Eaton, we did a network design study. We said, okay, Western Europe, UK, northern part, and then Scandinavia part of it, and then Eastern Europe. Then you talk about, okay, a DC in Germany or Netherlands, and then one in Czechoslovakia, which served the eastern, and one in UK to serve the northern UK. And it was pretty much you can distribute the whole thing in Europe within 1 to 4 days.
Exactly.
Except Sicily down south. So it was a very interesting study I was part of, and we designed the risk, and you can identify the risk and you can minimize the risk.
Yes.
But again, even though UAE and Saudi are adjacent to the border, the way they behave is very different. And then you include Egypt is very different.
Yes.
Then you include Oman, and it's different. So
North Africa is very different. So Levant is very different. I can share with you what the study that I've done.
The P&L have many elements. So the sales, marketing, you can't. But anything support cost.
Marketing, of course, you do.
How?
With your NPIs, promotions. You plan your promotions.
Separate budget, innit?
No, you plan it, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a case study. So explain the network risk.
Okay. If we think of a network as arc and node, so arc is the transportation from a node to a node, and the node is the supplier or the hub. So each one of them has different kind of challenge.
Right.
So if we talk about the transportation itself,
right.
As I mentioned, the long lead time. Your containers stay for a long time in the ocean, and there is a variability in the lead time. So We all remember the low steam that happened in 2008, and it keeps happening. The Suez Canal issue, now the Red Sea issue. So actually you have volatility in your lead time, and this is a network risk on its own. So this is in the terms of arcs. What about the terms of nodes, the suppliers itself? Because we are small volume, they keep on pushing us to different source units. So one day you are in Poland, the other day you are in Russia, the other point you are in France.
Very good point. And then what happened is, what they forget in doing so, the Middle East market is almost obsessed with a certain origin.
Exactly.
So we have faced that. Let me give an example. I can give to Bridgestone that Bridgestone sell on made in Japan. Made in Japan means made in Japan.
Yes.
It doesn't mean your Bridgestone you make in Europe. They will not buy it because the tire has to have a country of origin because of the SESO. You have to write it. And they think, oh, you make a 20-inch tire for Nissan Petrol in Japan, we can make it in Europe, in Poland, and no problem. It's the same.
No,
it's
the
same
problem.
tire. It's the same tire. What's the problem? You can't sell it to Saudi.
Yes.
They want, yes, Nissan Petrol, 20-inch, made in Japan. They're paying for made in Japan. Changing source for the same product won't cut it here, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Very good point.
And how we manage that? We manage that, or actually we don't manage it. We need to adapt with it. So we do repatriation projects. We do swinging even projects. So I managed personally some in some manufacturing environment that your product it can be produced in Russia or in Germany. Okay, but how I will know? No, you will not know. It depends on the capacity. So you will send you one time to Russia and one time to Germany, and okay, and how I will manage that from regulatory point of view, because, and this will take us to the next point, because our regulatory here is because we don't have we are not like Europe. So we are not Schengen, So we don't have one regulation. You are managing from here.
Africa's trying,
Egypt, North Africa, GCC, and sometimes part of the Far East, correct? We have different regulations. So if today I'm producing in Germany and tomorrow in Russia, for me that's completely different ball game, set of documents. Set of approvals. In the pharma industry, it gets more complicated.
Absolutely.
So.
And now with the Tamir, or what is the project recently happening, where you have to go the whole tracking.
Yes.
Tatmir is a project where you have to go and register. In fact, all the shipping tools is even more complicated in UAE and Saudi, of course, right? And a lot of pharma companies are struggling. So I think we can talk about that a lot, but I want to be conscious of time because we need to move on other topic. But that leads to the next one, which is the distribution challenges, right? And in my experience, there is two ways. So I think distributor holds too much power.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They had too much power, but on the other hand, principal try to abuse their own powers by pushing inventory because there's a sales target, right? Which I think creates for me imbalance of supply chain. It's not a lean supply chain because, right? Okay, you can blame both parties, but there's a use and abuse going. In my view, what do you think?
100% spot on. However, if your target is to implement an integrated supply chain, this problem will get resolved on its own.
I have a view on that, but I'll let you finish first.
So integrated supply chain, not in your company. It's with your distributor.
So making the part of your supply chain.
Exactly. And you agree, and having visibility on your different stock point locations. So you know which one is really
carrying what.
Exactly. Because if the distributor is not carrying a lot of stocks and it's healthy, maybe the retailer is carrying a lot of stocks that the distributor is pushing in order to create that fake pull into his stock so you can supply more. So in the Middle East, having a distributor as a key tier in the supply chain, it's very important to integrate with the distributor.
Okay. I'm going to challenge you here, right? With, again, my own experience and my consulting clients as well, who are a principal and my consulting client is a distributor, right? So while in theory what you said is super good, let's do integrated view of supply chain, let's have a view of the distributor stock, let's do the upstream stock at the principal end, all good.
Correct.
But it doesn't work like that, right? Because if you ask a distributor, right, give me the view of what you're selling so we can run the report of the consumption, and as a principal we can do demand forecasting and replenish the inventory, right? They won't give you that.
Yes.
Because they want to give you the visibility, because they want to play that to leverage.
Yeah, but this is a
Right.
problem. But
Yeah.
that's why we have this challenge.
But we have an internal issue as well. The sales guys of a principal don't want to do that as well, because the thing is their bonuses are depending on it, the quarter end bonus, the rebates and all that, right? So they want to play this game as well, and I can see if we have visibility, they push 9 months of stock, right? They just play some manipulative game, take them to football game. You
100%.
understand? Let's go to Turkey and Azerbaijan and Habibi, let's do some business there. But they're convincing them to do the stock that they don't need.
Yes, and you mentioned a very important point. They want to get their bonuses.
Yeah.
Okay, the bonus scheme is wrong. The bonus scheme is wrong because you are.
Agree. Actually.
Yes, because you are giving them incentives in the sales to the distributor. No, it has to be to the sales to the retailer, because
It has to be a sellout.
Yeah, the sellout, not the sell-in. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it has to be on the sellout, not the sell-in. The sell-in is a supply chain measure. The sellout, it's not. So you need to create the pull, and really, this will bring me to a cultural issue in the Middle East.
Very nice.
Supply chain. How to say that? So supply chain in the Middle East is, I don't want to say it's a department that other functions they fight against. I don't want to say that.
You said that.
Yeah.
Just say it. It's okay. It's my podcast. You can say
okay,
anything.
yeah.
You can say
Because,
it's friends, right?
because
Only friends watching, friends speaking.
Yes.
Is okay. There's no sales guy watch this podcast. So if you want to
Okay.
bitch about sales guys, it's okay. You can do that.
So
Yeah.
actually, sales guys, they take under their wing this sales in thing. Yeah. While no, you focus on the trade, you create the real pull. Let me manage. And they are our customers, so we have to collaborate with them.
Collaborate. Politically correct. You want to be politically
I want to be
correct.
politically right. Yeah, you have to collaborate with them. Meaning, the selling to the distributor is a supply chain responsibility.
Right.
You just need to give me your sellout forecast, and thank you.
Yeah, but okay. So who's gonna give a sellout forecast? Distributor, right?
With alignment with your sales guy.
But the sales guys in most positions, there's very few charismatic sales guys who have a very strong relationship, in my view, with the distributor. They can almost open the Excel
That's
book.
why demand planning is under supply chain, not under sales, because it's your role to pinpoint these things.
However, even though every distributor agreement would say you have to tell the sellout to us as a principal, i.e. the sales guys, but we know for a fact that the numbers are Mickey Mouse. Because you do, as a salespeople, don't have access to distributor ERP systems, right?
But their Mickey Mouse numbers will put them in trouble, because I'm not a magician. At the end of the day, I'm not a magician, and this is what the sales guys needs to understand.
Right.
If you keep in overselling,
Yeah.
okay, because you give a very low base and you keep on overselling to show that you are the hero, you will go out of stock, my dear, because I have a long lead time. And your bias, if you have a cumulative bias that goes to a certain limit,
Right.
I cannot do anything.
Fine. So we agree on the problem.
Yeah.
Let's share a good case study, right? Where this whole Mickey Mouse sell in, sell out, you tell me something, I tell you something, I get bonus, you get holidays, you get $200,000 rebate. Where is actually work in a transparent, integrated, collaborative supply chain where we have a full visibility of inventories, purchase order, stock coming in, goods in transit, which has created a lean supply chain, benefited everybody. Do you have examples?
I will share my experience with Mars.
Please do.
Yeah. So, and before I start that, I would like to say that it's all in the culture of the company. So if the company promotes transparency, mutuality, they live by their own principles.
Right.
Yeah. then you will get there. It will be a journey, yes, but you will get there. So Mars has this practice where they have implemented best class S&OP. So the solution is in the S&OP. And here you have to implement the S&OP as a process and as a behavior, not as a culture, not as ticking the box. You know,
I have a demand review.
I have a no. You need to put it as a culture. So I can go and challenge the sales.
Sure.
Yeah, and a process will be built and set up in order to have this transparency. So you have your feeder meetings with the distributor. You have strategy alignment sessions with the distributor. They tell you about their promotions. But here I would like to be fair as well. You need to pick the right distributor.
That's a problem as well, right? Because the distributor agreement, again, I don't know a lot of people know or not. It's easier to get in, but it's very difficult to get out.
Exactly.
It's almost like a marriage.
Yes.
Yeah, you get married in 3 months' time of dating. Everything is lovely. Let's go out. Let's have a dinner. Let's have a date. Let's have a dance. Then you sign a marriage certificate, and it takes 20 lawyers to get out, and a house and a lot of money.
100%.
It's difficult.
It's
choose your distributor very carefully, and you choose your spouse wisely.
Yes, very wisely. Take your time.
Yeah.
And with the distributor, they need to be part of your S&OP cycle, either by feeder meetings.
I haven't seen any. Have you seen any?
Of course. In Mars, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we have feeder meetings with the distributors. Yes. But again, it's a journey.
It takes maturity, right?
Yeah, we started 2006.
Yeah.
And today we are 2023.
Right.
It's a journey, yeah.
Right.
So you have feeder meetings with the distributor where you align the numbers, because what is the most challenging thing in S&OP? One number, right? You need to have one number across the distributors and in your company as well.
Right.
Inventory management, another challenge in the S&OP. What are the right stock cover level?
Right.
This has to go in details with the distributor, and you have to explain to them why and how.
Yeah.
That's very important.
And they have to see the benefit of that, right? They have to see the what's in it for me and how they see the benefit. Okay, that leads to the last point of this conversation. There's many points we can discuss, but I just want to be, precise with this call, with this episode, is the tech part, right?
Yes.
How you see the challenges, what are the opportunities, how the future look like?
I would say that
especially again, continue the same thing, the distributor thing.
Yes. I would say that the current situations and scenarios that the Middle East and the world have been through paved the way to recognize the importance of the supply chain. We are lucky, actually.
Yeah, we are lucky.
That we are living this era. Before, we were like the guys who are moving boxes. Yeah. Now
create POs.
Now we are into the planning and we contribute into the growth of the company.
Into strategy and the value creation.
Yes, and it's not because of the incidents that we have been through. The incidents only we used it to our favor, but actually supply chain can impact each and every line of the P&L, and I did a study on that. So each and every line of the P&L.
Almost.
Okay, I can share with you what the study that I've done.
The P&L have many elements. So the sales, marketing, you can't, but anything support cost.
Marketing, of course, you do.
How?
With your NPIs, promotions. You plan your promotions.
Separate budget in it.
No, you plan it, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a case study.
Yes.
That's the third episode.
Yeah. Believe me. Because I.
That was good learning.
Yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong or you're not, but it's a good learning for us.
Because I was always challenged. Yeah. So I said, okay, guys, just leave me for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I will put it in a paper, right? How we can impact each and every line of the P&L.
Yeah.
And how you can pull the right lever to impact it. So, coming back to your question, which was.
It was from technology and the future.
The technology. Okay.
Thanks
God so
coming
that paved the way.
Yeah.
Now, let's highlight something. Technology will do what I ask it to do. Yeah? So I need to put the strategy for the technology to work. Yeah? I need to give the technology the right inputs. So again, we'll go to the data. So if my data is wrong, the technology cannot detect what is the pattern of my demand planning, correct? If my information doesn't have the times of the out of stock, so I don't know why I perform badly. Is it because I don't have stocks or there is no pull? I will not be able to, the technology will not help me. So I need to have the right strategy in place, the right understanding of the data, and then give it to the technology. Machine learning can detect those patterns, can accelerate or speed up the process of demand planning, of supply planning, can do automatic calculation, but I have to feed it.
That's fine, but can we do it with integration of distributors? Can we do that? Are we ready? Are we anywhere ready? Honest answer.
Yes. Yes, while using Excel, we can. We can. It's about mindset. It's not about technology.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now we move to the most interesting part, which we introduced. We call it Quickfire.
Yalla.
Right. So we're gonna ask you some quick questions.
Okay.
You don't have time to think. They are not super logical, so don't judge me.
Okay. But I can say pass, parts. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say pass. I will move it on anyway. If you say pass, right? Okay. So if supply chain, right, needs a mascot, right? No, actually no. If supply chain has to be defined as a character, a famous character, right? What it would be?
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Yes.
A girly Cinderella.
Yeah, a girly Cinderella.
With the people being abusing and stepsisters.
Yeah, and she's very. By the way, she's kind with everyone. She wants to provide her best to everyone, but she's getting bullied by everyone.
That's the funniest analogy I have ever heard.
And by the way, she doesn't attend. Wait. She doesn't attend important meetings.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's not invited.
She's doing the brooming
and she's not invited to the party. She's left at home to do all the cleaning and grooming.
She's so right. All my sales and marketing guys are going to Sharm el-Sheikh, all the sexy places to party. And guess what? Who is not doing? Even though I'm the one who's arranging the whole thing. She's so right.
Yes,
I
we are Cinderella.
I feel like Cinderella right now. Right. What happened to Prince Charming?
One day he will appear. One day.
Just hope to God, right?
No. It will appear because the good prevail at the end.
The good prevail at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take nothing from this podcast, you take this. Supply chain is Cinderella. Abuse will stop, Prince Charming will come, and good will be prevailed. Love it. I don't think so. I can ask anything else, but let me ask as well. Right, if supply chain have a theme song, what that would be?
Pass.
Let me recommend here the supply chain rap created by Simdujo. If you have not seen it, you should see it. I'll send you that as well.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Cool. Now, so next one would be SAP or Oracle.
SAP.
Why?
This is what I worked with all over my life.
I'm saying, why nobody's speaking Oracle? Everybody's coming and saying about this. Okay. What is the most weirdest item you have moved in supply chain?
Weirdest item?
Yeah.
I cannot say.
You cannot say? Pass. No. Okay. Next one. What is the most clumsiest or funny excuse you have heard about shipment being late?
There is no fun in this, but strikes are always there. By the way, it's one of the challenges. Strikes are always there.
The French strikes.
Yeah, the French guys.
All right. Okay, that's the second last, I think. If in the warehouse you have magical powers, you're Aladdin, or maybe last wish you have. What is the thing you would want to appear magically in every warehouse?
In every warehouse?
In every warehouse.
Hijunka boards.
That's a good one. If people understand what the hell it is.
Hijunka boards, very good.
If they understand.
With breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch, that's a very good one. Okay. If you have to pick a boss to work with,
right, between Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Bill Gates, and let's call it Tim Cook of Apple? Who will you pick? Bezos. Oh, why is that?
He's visionary. He has, or he had his own vision.
Right.
And his core business is supply chain.
That's very good, very good. What is the last advice or the only advice you would give to your younger self?
Wow, that's a deep one.
That's a deep one. We finish on deep. We
Yeah,
never deep
that's
emotional
very-
questions. We create connection with people, you know.
Network more.
Network more. Why is that?
Because network has a power. And you know who you are, yeah? But people, they don't know.
People, you have to tell.
Yeah, you have to tell them.
I recently watched. I'm a big fan of Arnold. Don't ask me why. Actually, if somebody asks me who is the figure you would actually like, you see yourself, who inspired you,
Okay.
and I always say Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
I'll explain this later on. But
Okay.
I was watching Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But he's an inspiring guy, by
He's
the
a
way.
very inspiring guy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you sometime, if you interview me, I'll tell you why
Okay.
it's inspiration to me, right? For many reasons, for life in general, not just fitness and all that. He's got a Netflix, I think, short 3-episode documentary type of stuff covering his life and all that. And he said at the end, and talking about advertisement, early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise.
Yes, that's true.
Most people do early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and they just assume people should know. My dear friends, that's a wrong assumption. You don't get arrogant or don't get about outrageous, but it's your job to tell people what you're good at. And this is exactly what we found out today, how knowledgeable Doaa is, which I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, you're a fascinating speaker.
Thank you.
You have an enormous knowledge,
Thank you.
right? And a knowledge which is actually captivating, because the things you discuss is pretty dry, if you ask me. But you have told in a real story with the passion, and it's coming out that you know your shit, right? It's not just knowing your shit. You have a story, and people can really leverage experience. And I think it's a shame that I'm talking to you after, I don't know, after 60+ episode I've done already.
It is my
right?
my mistake. I was hidden. I was.
No, but I contacted you, right? So it
Yes,
was me.
that's
So
true.
I know how to find gems, right?
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. No, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks
been
a lot.
pleasure talking to you. You have been amazing. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
your knowledge. We'll do one more episode with Doaa on S&OP. It will be more interesting. So for now, thank you very much for watching. Right, thank you for Doaa
Thank
again.
you. Thanks a
Hope
lot.
you like it. Like, share, subscribe. And as I say, keep it simple, keep it real. Ciao.
Ciao.